Good morning.
Good morning.
We're still piling in. It's great. Welcome to UUCC, the Unitarian Universalist Church of Canandaigua. We are a group of spiritual freethinkers who gather to celebrate life, build community, and better the world. Wherever you are on your spiritual journey, we are with you, and you are welcome. I'm Laura Wink, your worship associate for this morning, and the service today will be led by Ken Hutton. If this is your first visit, welcome. We invite you to sign the visitor's book in the entryway, and whether it is your first visit or your 1,000th, I always struggle with that word. We're glad that you came. This service is also being live streamed to our YouTube channel. We plan to continue with hybrid worship services throughout the church year, so you can join us each week here in person, on Zoom, or later on YouTube. We have a few announcements. We have a bake sale later this morning. And we also have some goods still left over from our sale, like some of Jeff's ornaments in the back. Next week, we'll have church at their regular time with special music from our choir and a no rehearsal pageant. That should be intriguing. Come see. The Unitarian Universalist Service Committee, UUSC for short, has provided videos for us to share during our annual participation in Guest at Your Table in order to introduce the guests. The theme this year is Pursuing Liberation. If you would like to donate, you can visit uusc.org/give-to-guest or pick up materials from the table in the back. Please return any donations by the end of December. You can go to Danielle Lyon with any questions. Does anyone have any other announcements? Yes, we do. Karen.
I just want to piggyback on the back of the bake sale. There's a ton of stuff that year, lots for sharing. Also, personally, I didn't finish what I was baking, so I think we can add a little extra bake sale next week.
So, like our craft sale, the cookie sale is going to be extended. The eternal cookie sale. You can always donate to the church and enjoy a snack, especially Karen's. I think that's fabulous. Just come and bring something for sale, put it in the back, and donate to the church. Any other announcements? Okay, we have a video.
The National TPS Alliance was formed and led by temporary protected status beneficiaries from across the United States, combining advocacy efforts at a national level to save TPS for all beneficiaries in the short term and devise legislation that creates a path to permanent residency in the long term. When the Trump administration decided to scale back the TPS program and cancel TPS for thousands of immigrants, which has placed TPS families in an untenable position, the TPS Alliance has worked diligently through this process to change that by restoring the protection and securing a path to permanent residency for all TPS holders. The most significant achievement that the organization has created is new base building and growth among its youth. The youth continue to be involved and are working to grow their local committee. UUSC believes partnering with the National TPS Alliance is important because the termination of TPS is a considerable threat to thousands of people in migration and their families.
One more announcement. As we prepare to be fully together, I remind us all to silence our cell phones and devices. And now we enter a space of worship.
Light the chalice.
Oh, hold on a second, buddy. George, do you want to stay up here with us? It's now time to light our chalice. We gather this hour as people of faith with joys and sorrows. Sign of our quest for truth and meaning, in celebration of the life we share together.
That was our littlest lighter. That was great. I don't know about the rest of you, but how about this? Christmas cactus, amazing, amazing. So today isn't the solstice, as many of you know. It's going to be this Thursday. But today we'll prepare ourselves for that. And so the shortest day came and the year died. And everywhere down the centuries of the snow-white world came people singing and dancing. You know why? To drive away the dark. They lit candles in the wintertime. They hung their homes with evergreen. They burned beseeching fires all night long to keep the year alive. And when the New Year's sunshine blazed awake, they shouted, reveling. Through all the frosty ages, you can hear the echoing behind us. Listen. All the long echoes sing the same delight. This shortest day, as promise wakens in the sleeping land, they carol, feast, give thanks, and dearly love their friends, and hope for peace. And so do we here now, this year and every year.
Our opening hymn today is number 235 in your hymnal. Deck the halls, boughs of holly, and by popular request, I'm going to play the accordion today.
And turn the seasons wheel.
Oh, and we were going to turn the seasons wheel because it is time. Or that would be very helpful. Thank you. You can see how it's on the autumn season now, right?
Oh.
Perfect.
Here we go.
Thanks, Oren.
New season. I see a couple snowflakes up there too. And Oren is right.
Yeah, I'll play.
We have rhythm instruments for anybody. You want? Some more play. Does anybody know why the sun comes up every morning the way it does? Well, yeah, it is a miracle. A long time ago, when the world was very, very young, there wasn't just one sun. There were 9 suns. And you can imagine the blazing heat scorched the land, and the earth grew hotter and hotter. The crops shriveled, people began to die. The people tried to think of ways to block the heat of the 9 suns. Finally, they decided to ask their best archer, I'm Sagittarius, to shoot the suns out of the sky. He listened to their plan and agreed to help. So the next morning before sunrise, the archer climbed on top of the highest mountain. Takes me a while, hang on a second. And as each sun appeared, he strung the arrow, there goes that sun. And they were all women, they were soul sisters, S-O-L. So each time he did this, one less sun. And so it got down to the point where the last sun, she said, oh my gosh, I don't know about this. So she stayed behind the mountain and didn't come out. So at first, everybody was like happy, right? No more of that heat. The only thing is now it's very, very, very dark, very cold. And Christmas cactuses, crops, everything, they do not grow. So they called to the hiding sun, and no matter what they said, it wouldn't come. A great meeting was called to say, well, what are we going to do? So some of the people convinced that the sun would mean no harm, so they suggested that an animal, a tiger, they said it's a powerful animal, and that tiger might get the sun to come out. Someone want to do a tiger for me?
Me?
Go ahead.
I'm Nathan. It's like
And guess what? The sun said, no. Thanks, Nathan. You can sit down. It was a good tiger, but it scared the sun, and she said, no. So then they said, well, what about songbirds? Songbirds might bring it out. Any songbirds? Go ahead and let's hear the songbird. Any, just, did you do a songbird, a bird? What's a bird sound like in the morning? Used to be X, or now known as X. So maybe he needs some help. What would birds sound like in the morning, group? Oh my gosh. I think she would be wanting to come out for that, and she did peek out, but then she went back in. Thank you. So they tried other animals, but none of them worked, and finally the elder, his name was Marty, suggested a rooster. So we need a rooster now. And they said this rooster would be proud, this rooster would be confident. Anybody? What's a rooster sound like? That's what it looks like when you write it down, but I have never seen a rooster actually do that. The other day I saw one, and he kind of sounded like, let's hear it. Oh yeah, and that was good. but not enough. I mean, she's interested, but one more. Roosters, crows, ready? No, one more. Louder. Oh, yeah. And that's what brought the sun out. And it continues to bring the sun out each morning. That's why the rooster every morning does that. And for a reward, she gave him a comb, a red comb, which he wears on his head each day in his honor. And that's what's going to happen on Thursday. You have to get up in the morning and okay. That's our story.
Now is the time in our service to join together in the spiritual practice of generosity. Our gifts of both time and money support our church in its work. Each week, we would like to spotlight a group or committee and thank them for their gift of time. And I did not pick that out in advance, so I'm just going to have to wing it. Let's see. I'd like to thank the worship committee, the Lions for always manning the back and making sure that we get our Zoom on and our YouTube on, and Bill for our consistent music, and our lay people who bravely stand up in the podium. And if you'd like to join our merry group, please sign up for volunteering in the back or with Thomas Lyon. 1/4 of our plate collection for the darkness season goes to Safe Harbors of the Finger Lakes. Safe Harbors of the Finger Lakes, Inc. provides confidential services at no charge for individuals, children, and families who have experienced sexual assault, domestic violence, child abuse, or human trafficking in Ontario, Seneca, and Yates counties. You can give to this morning's offering by placing cash or a check in the basket or by one of the options on the screen. Please make a note that your gift is intended for today's offering. Now we gratefully accept our offerings.
Now it's time for us to quiet down, and it's okay if we have people in the wiggling zone being kids, but it's an opportunity for us to just get grounded and have our feet and have our loosen up and maybe close our eyes. And
Nathan, today all of the kids are going to stay up here to hear what's going on, and there's going to be a sort of a surprise event in a few minutes. And then also, if you're up here, then you can help us play some more instruments and 2 more songs. Okay, so we're all going to stay up here today, and next week as well. But later on, in a few weeks, we'll go back to our children's church.
I'd like to read to you a solstice blessing by Sheila Shu. Your breath began long ago, before there were lungs and before there were trees. Your breath began in the darkness of gases that hung a long, long sky from your song. Your bones are the bones of your ancestors, and before them, calcium in the seas. Your bones have been shaped in the darkness of wombs, and long before, in matter flung far from your fingertips. Your blood began in the flow of seas, dark and rough. Before your tears, there was rain. And before your blood, veins and springs and storms in the primordial deep, way deeper than your pulse. Your curiosity began as lightning across the sky. Your very nerves and every thought, every signal, the descendants of explosions and cosmic firings. Your insight and movement, ancient energies that acted long before your smiling. You are the very stuff of stars. You are the dust left behind. You are a solar event. You are the keepers of time. Your sisters hold their place and shine the sky above you, and you, no less, have such light inside you to offer the world. Can you see that you're a child of the universe, and that this is why you know the earth is turning and dawn is coming? The darkness you've known, now and forever behind you, gives way to light, as it always has.
For our meditation hymn today, we have number 46 in the hymnal. It's pretty much a solstice hymn. Now the day is over. I'll play through it once. So it's all about darkness and light. And that's, for me, when I think about the solstice and why I first got interested in it, it's because I began to realize, not only from my own point of view of this time of the year, I noticing that the days, I don't know about the rest of you, but 4:30, the sun goes down.
I mean, come on. But I'm trying to imagine back when they did not know what we know scientifically, that the sun, it doesn't actually come to a stillness. That's why they call it a solstice, that's what I always imagine, this great big breaking sound. And then it's going to start coming back the other way, a little bit at a time. But it does come back. But imagine that when they didn't know that. That's what I always imagine, look back. And that's why it just so happens that this time of the year, it's all about light, way back when. And my understanding is that there might have been some cultures that adopted this time of the year, talking about the sun, capital S-O-N, but that's what it's all about, is just, and that's why we wear red and do all this feasting, and we just, because we know the sun is going to come, right? We do know it's going to happen. But as far as the light's concerned, a lot of times we have fears. A lot of times we don't get to express them because they're deep within us. But they need the light. They need the light, but sometimes they're still in dark. And so today, what we're going to do right now is we have some little sheets of paper, and these are symbolic pieces of paper that are coming out to you. And on these pieces of paper, what you can do is, not with a pen, but with your, how they have that, you have that ability to write with your brain. Write on that little piece of paper what might be your fears, your dark fears. And the people on Zoom, if you'd like to put in the chat something that you want to send to our technician crew, they'll also have a sheet of paper. So now we're going to take a moment and breathe. There's another miracle, the breath. And then we exhale. Our fears are on that little sheet of paper. And one by one, if we'd like to come up and bring your paper and take your fears, bring them collectively into our can. Please come on up. I wondered how we got it. I have this for the Zoomers. Don't you just love symbolism? This is symbolic of what we're going to be doing with all our fears collectively.
Tell people. Wait for a moment. You were going to tell them about making a joyful noise.
Oh, we need to do a rooster. Ready?
Stand back. No.
Good thing that didn't go.
So we had the light of the cauldron, and let's remember to have a light in ourselves. Well, this is my light. I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine. I'm gonna let it have instruments to play. This little light of mine. I'm gonna let it shine, let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Everywhere I go, I'm gonna let it shine. Everywhere I go, I'm gonna let it shine. Everywhere I go, I'm gonna let it shine, let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Building up the world, I'm gonna let it shine. Building up the world, I'm gonna let it shine. Building up the world, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. It's the light. It's the light of mine. I'm gonna let it shine. Oh, it's the light of mine. I'm gonna let it shine. It's the light of mine. I'm gonna let it shine, let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Yeah. Yes, it is like
Magician's fire. So the winter solstice. Nature remembers what we humans have forgotten. Every cycle must return to stillness, silence, the dark. Every outbreath requires an in-breath, and every outer endeavor turns back inward to its origins, its center, and begins again. From death comes new life, and from the darkest night, a new dawn is born. May the darkness of winter bring new appreciation of the light.
For our closing hymn today, we have a song. It's in the hymnal, but it's not a solstice song in the hymnal. But when Ken wrote new words, it became a solstice song. I'm going to let you stand on that side. And it has an echo. So Ken's going to lead, and I'll be the echo, and you should sing with me. We'll all be the echo. And it's called The Sun's on Its Way.
The sun's on its way.
Sun's on its way.
The wheel has turned.
The wheel has turned.
Sun's on its way.
Sun's on its way.
The wheel has turned.
The wheel has turned.
Sun's on its way.
Sun's on its way.
To the northern land.
To the northern land.
Sun's on its way. Sun's on its way.
And that's the ending of each verse. When it sings, sun's on its way. Good guy, sun's on its way. Let's try that together. Sun's
Please join me in our extinguishing the chalice. We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth,
or the fire of commitment.
these we carry in our hearts until we are together again.